Welcome to Wanderlust Worldwide, the place where we explore the stories hidden beneath the surface of our world, the places people think they understand, and the realities they rarely see. Today, we travel into a land of silence, scale, and raw, unforgiving beauty. This is Canada, a wilderness so vast, so powerful, and so alive, it feels untouched by time itself. Canada is a country many believe they already know. They imagine snowy mountains, frozen lakes, polite cities, and endless forests bathed in golden light. They picture moose wandering through mist, wooden cabins tucked into quiet valleys, and northern lights dancing across midnight skies. These images are real, but they are only fragments of something far deeper, far older, and far more untamed. Canada is not just a country. It is a wilderness that was never conquered, only learned, respected, and survived. To understand Canada, you must understand distance. Here, distance isn't measured in kilometers, but in silence, in isolation, and in the feeling of standing very small in a very large world. The land does not bend to human will. It does not soften itself for comfort. It remains vast, indifferent, and breathtakingly alive. Long before modern borders were drawn, indigenous nations lived in harmony with this land for thousands of years. The Cree, the Inuit, the Haida, the Dene, the Anishinaabe, these were not just inhabitants of the wilderness. They were part of it. They learned the language of rivers, the warning signs of forests, the rhythm of animal migrations, and the spiritual weight of the mountains. For them, this land was not empty. It was sacred. When European explorers arrived, they did not find a tame world. They found endless forests that swallowed sound, rivers so powerful they shaped entire landscapes, winters so brutal they tested the very idea of survival. Canada did not welcome them. It challenged them, and that spirit still remains. Beyond the cities, Canada opens into a world that feels infinite. The Rocky Mountains rise like frozen waves, carved by ice, wind, and time itself. Peaks pierce the clouds, while turquoise lakes sit impossibly still beneath them, as though guarding ancient secrets. Here, glaciers breathe slowly, creaking and shifting like sleeping giants beneath the earth. In British Columbia, old-growth rainforests stretch toward the sky, trees so tall they block out the sun, roots so ancient they've witnessed centuries of storms. The air smells of moss, rain, and earth. Every footstep feels like trespassing into a world that was never meant to be controlled. And then there is the North, the true North, a place where roads disappear, where maps become meaningless, and where the sky feels closer than the earth. The Arctic is not silent. It is alive with movement. You cannot see ice shifting, wind crawling across frozen tundra, the distant crack of glaciers breaking under their own weight. Polar bears roam these lands like forgotten kings. Caribou migrate across endless whiteness, and above it all, the Aurora dances green, purple, blue, like the spirit of the sky trying to speak to the earth. Few people ever come here. Even fewer truly understand it. Canada's wilderness is not only found in ice and snow. In the heart of the country, lakes and rivers weave together like veins, creating one of the largest freshwater systems on Earth. Millions of lakes, some so clear they reflect the sky like glass, others so deep they seem bottomless. Paddle across them and you feel it. The isolation, the peace, the sensation that the world has gone quiet just for you. Forests stretch for days without interruption. No buildings, no power lines, no evidence of modern life. Just wind through branches, birds calling from unseen places, and the feeling that you have stepped back into a time before the world was mapped. Most travelers never see this Canada. They stay in cities, and even the cities are shaped by the wilderness. Vancouver lives between ocean and mountain, always feeling temporary against the eternal landscape behind it. Toronto rises in steel and glass, but the vast forests and lakes surrounding it remind you how small human ambition really is. Calgary stands as a gateway to the Rockies, where cowboy culture and wilderness meet in quiet respect. Even in these urban spaces, nature is never far away. It watches from the edges. It waits. Yet the most powerful stories in Canada are not written in landmarks or skylines. They are written in solitude. A lone canoe cutting through fog at dawn. The distant howl of a wolf echoing across a frozen lake. Footprints in fresh snow that disappear in the wind within minutes. Campfire smoke rising into a sky so full of stars it feels overwhelming. Here, nature is not a background. It is the main character. And then there are the seasons unforgiving, dramatic, and beautiful in their extremes. Winter is not just cold, it is a presence. It breathes through forests, freezes rivers solid, and turns entire regions into silent white kingdoms. The world slows. Life becomes quieter. Survival becomes ritual. Spring arrives not gently, but violently. Ice breaks. Rivers swell. Forests awaken from near-death sleep. Animals return. Light changes everything. Summer floods the wilderness with life, endless daylight in the far north. Green landscapes that feel almost unreal. Lakes alive with motion and reflection. Autumn sets the land on fire. Reds, golds, oranges. Entire forests burning with color before surrendering once again to silence. This is not scenery. This is a cycle older than cities, older than countries, older than memory. Yet Canada is not empty. Its most powerful presence is the human one. Quiet, respectful, resilient. Small communities scattered across vast distances. Wooden houses standing strong against howling winds. Fishing villages hugging icy coastlines. Indigenous families still passing down traditions older than modern history. In the far reaches of the country, survival is not romantic. It is real. It is daily. It is earned. And yet, there is peace here. A kind of peace the modern world has forgotten. Because Canada is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not sell itself through chaos. It waits. It lets the winds speak. It lets the rivers carve their stories. It lets the mountains stand in silence. So when people say they've seen Canada, what they often mean is that they've seen a version of it. A soft version. A curated version. But the real Canada exists far beyond highways and hotels. It exists where the signal disappears. Where the trail fades. Where the forest closes in. Where the stars feel close enough to touch. Because Canada is not just a place. It is a feeling. A vast, quiet reminder of how small we are and how wild the world still is. This is Canada Untamed, the last great wilderness. A world that was never meant to be conquered, only witnessed.